Workload is another way of increasing your productivity. You know, all the usual things, schedule time in your diary to focus on specific tasks. Don't overplan your diary. Leave space for flexibility for those urgent and important tasks because they're going to crop up. We know they're going to crop up. So build in some flexibility into your diary. Then we know it doesn't send the brain into panic that suddenly I've got all this extra work to do. Try and only handle emails and paper once. Read in action, read in file, or read in bin and delete it. Don't overschedule Zoom calls and online meetings. Leave space between calls, between your meetings. 10, 15 minutes. Try scheduling meetings for just 50 minutes so that it gives you 10 minutes before your next meeting is going to start. Consider alternatives to Zoom. It suddenly feels like we hardly ever pick the telephone up anymore these days because let's pop on Zoom. Actually, sometimes the same outcome can be achieved through a telephone call or even an email. Set yourself priorities and boundaries and stick to those boundaries. A quick question for you. Hours. What do you think that could be referring to? It's actually 2.1 hours per day. What am I referring to? Any thoughts? First two. Time we lose each day due to unhelpful distractions. So just think, again, a reflective question. What could you do with an extra time lost to social media? Yeah, Donna. What could you do with an extra 2 hours every day? I think if we could just claw back that 2 hours. Well, here's some of the kind of most common ways we lose time. It's through voicemails, emails, and other people. So some strategies to help us manage interruptions to be more productive. Set times for checking emails. You know, let other people know, put an auto response or an email footer that actually tells people you only check emails at specific times. Set those boundaries that I mentioned, you know, when you will be available. Don't be afraid to say no sometimes. Your judgment of when it's appropriate and making sure the circumstances, you know, are right to actually say no, but don't be afraid to say no sometimes. Experience. The reason that people don't tend to do these things more is more to do with their own beliefs and attitudes than anyone else's. Human beings to belong. That's a deep innate need that we have got. And the way we do that is believing that people need us. And our brain tells itself that we cannot manage, that other people manage without us. It's our way of validating ourselves. Now, this is all going on at an unconscious processing level. It's not something we consciously particularly think about. An awful lot of times we kind of tell ourselves, I couldn't possibly, you know, switch my emails off, switch my technology off. Actually, it's the brain who is telling us that. It's not helpful particularly, and it is not necessarily a fact. Scary in the first instance, but people that actually do try it are amazed at the difference it makes to their productivity and their stress levels, their energy levels. And important at the moment for people who are working from home. You know, we need to set those boundaries. We need to let people know when we can be interrupted, when we can't be interrupted, etc. Perhaps try having if you haven't got one, try having a quiet space. And this applies in an office as much as at home, somewhere where people can go to when they just need quiet, focused time. managing our interruptions is we need to take ownership for managing our distractions. It's too easy to, it's other people interrupting me. Actually, it's because I'm not managing that situation. So we need to own the situation.